Hey, I'm glad you joined us. We are back.
We're back.
Frightfully Brilliant. Now, it's been a bit, so we got to reintroduce everybody. All right, we have right here Morticia. Yep. And, well, in a minute. And Gomez. All right. Now, actually, Slappy is a little bit sensitive and should have been introduced first. But
He's
we'll
scary.
put him first over Charlie. So this is Slappy, kind of the background of the show. And then in the back is Charlie. Charlie has been dieting, but I fear he's gone too far. And that, my friend, is, oh, you got a great show for you. You aren't going to believe it. That, my friend, is
Frightfully Brilliant.
And we are back.
It's been such a long time. We have not gotten to play catch up. It's been so long that we need to know what your favorite Christmas present was. That's how long it's been.
Oh my
I know you
gosh.
got something for Christmas, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
good.
yeah, actually, I got myself a Christmas gift.
Well, that's always good.
Yeah, I did.
Did no one else give you anything?
Yeah,
Yeah, they did? Or?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember. They were that
So you gave yourself the
inconsequential.
best thing.
I did,
That's
man.
how it works. What did you give yourself?
Animation programs.
Awesome. I need
Yeah.
some animation done.
Yeah,
I want some Gremlins animation.
I'm developing these cartoon characters. I got one really spooky, and her name is Lilith. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. And the other horror one I got is Ashra. They're both my creation, and yeah. So I'm going to put them on some of the shows that I
That's
do.
fun.
And might even have one of them peek into this show once in a
Oh,
while.
yes, I was
Yeah.
going to say we would like to
Yeah.
meet them.
Oh, but you know, life is a learning thing. I always like new things. I like, you know.
Like a new coffin sometimes to sleep in. I
Yeah,
understand,
oh, right.
yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's a good idea.
Memory foam in those
Yeah.
are good.
Mhm.
Want to know what we got for Christmas? Our favorite thing?
Oh,
Show
yeah.
him, Gomez, show him, show him. Our friend Kelly went to New Orleans, and I said, Kelly, you have got to get us a voodoo doll for Christmas
Whoa,
because
hey, let's see that.
be gentle with him. He's got a soul inside.
A soul
Be
inside.
very careful with him.
Oops. Up. No.
He'll kill you in your sleep. Isn't he awesome?
Yeah,
He's beautiful.
it is.
I hear him talk in this like low, kind of scary African voice, but he's nice to us. Like, just be very gentle. Yeah.
All right.
He was
Oh,
our
that's
favorite
beautiful.
Christmas present.
That's beautiful.
And we will review him later and talk more about that
All right.
in this episode. But he was our favorite. Now, New Year's resolutions. What was your New Year's resolution? Or how many?
Oh, well, actually, my New Year's resolution started on Thanksgiving.
Wow, that was
I mean,
early.
I was early, right? And that was to take better care of myself and to get into shape.
So you've been like whipping yourself nightly, poisoning yourself in the morning. I get it. Okay.
That works.
Yeah.
Yep, it works. Yep,
Good.
yep.
Well, is it working?
Yeah, yep,
Are you a better person now?
Yeah, I got a phrase. It's the 4 Ds, you know. Dedicated determination defeats demons.
Good.
You like that?
Delightful.
It's true. You know, if you just dedicate yourself, you know, to something.
Yeah, we
and
did that.
You just got
That
blow
worked.
up all the demons around you,
All
man.
them.
You're gonna come out triumphant. So,
Yes,
yeah.
you'll be the head demon then.
Yeah, I'll be the head guy. Yeah.
So what? Mine
Triumph
was
over all my faults.
my
yeah.
New Year's resolution, because I tend to scare people. Just when I get out of the car to go into Walmart, they tell me it's not Halloween. What are you doing? And I'm like, okay.
Do they really say
Yeah,
that? They
so
do?
they do, and I'm like,
How do they?
I know. So I decided to try to be more friendly.
There you go.
And so I thought if I get out and I see somebody and look at me, I'll just go, hi. But Gomez, what?
Well, Ophelia says that you look actually scary when you're friendly.
So I'm scarier when I try to be friendly.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know what? That's it. My New Year's resolution is actually to be scarier then.
that's right.
That
So
could work.
That's it. And tell him about yours.
All right.
I can't believe that's you just gotta be you.
Yes.
You know
and
what?
I'm going to be as scary as I possibly can. But Gomez, what's your New Year's resolution?
Well, yes, I also wanted to be me, so I wanted to stop poisoning the dead ghosts in our house.
You did what?
I don't want to poison the dead ghosts in our house anymore.
You want to try to not poison dead ghosts.
Yeah.
But Gomez, they're already dead. You can't kill them. So you're wasting your time anyway. So yes, it was a good idea that you decided to stop.
But how come every time I leave a little bit of poison, they just drop so gently, like flies, so friendly and all, like...
So the floor is covered in dead ghosts when you leave poison. They're probably just doing it to be nice. Like, they don't understand why you don't get that they're already dead, so they're just trying to be nice to you. Like, but they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Oh, it's so nice to be liked. I like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, in general, just stop poisoning dead ghosts. They'll start going back to not having to be nice to you. There's no pressure. I mean, like...
And everybody will be happy.
Everybody, and that is Frightfully Brilliant.
Well, we are back, and now we're into a segment called Fashion Objects and Things. And you brought some stuff. Actually, you actually told us before what you were
We
going to do.
promised to talk
Yeah, you
about
did.
this. Get them out,
So tell
Gomez.
us.
Yes.
We have our voodoo doll that we got from New Orleans from our friend Kelly for Christmas. But I wanted to talk about him because he came from this cool shop there that you can actually order from online. They're called Hex, and was it Hex Witchery?
Yes.
And they're really cool.
Yeah, I think we have a graphic on that.
Yeah, and they have all kinds of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But the reason I wanted to talk about voodoo dolls is you always hear about voodoo dolls where you stick pens in them and you
Yeah.
curse people, and
Yeah.
it's boring. These voodoo dolls are actually really different. They have one that you can buy. I bought my best friend Karen for money and success in your job.
Oh,
They have one that's
so
like...
it's like a voodoo doll, but for something
Yeah.
positive, not...
Yeah, this guy is to teach us about magic and transformation, and that's really exciting, and dream work. And that's the things we all work on, so Kelly got him for us for that. So that's what he does. He doesn't stick pins in, and he doesn't curse people. He teaches. And the spirit inside him works with us. And it's really exciting. And you can just kind of feel power in him when you hold him. It's exciting. But
Is
they
it
have...
working?
Yeah, I think so. I feel very magical right now.
Do you?
Yes.
Wow.
And I've been having a lot more vivid dreams and whatnot, so it's cool. But actually, and my psychic has been a lot stronger. Like, I'll know something's going to happen. But
Do
yeah.
we have a graphic on that? On
My
that
psychic
shop?
or
X?
the shop? Get that third eye up there. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
well, I'll put it in later.
So, but yeah, they have one for wealth. They have one for success. And now the difference
Wow,
between wealth
really?
and success is like money is just like a job for any job. You know, if you just need a job right now, that one's
Right.
green. But if you want a job that you'll
green,
actually
okay.
like and feel fulfilled in, that one's yellow. And my friend Kelly got that, and she loves her job.
You got to do what you like.
Yeah, so she
right?
went for yellow because she didn't
Oh,
just want
that's
easy
great.
money.
Yellow.
She wanted to be happy, you know,
No,
with
you
the
don't
job.
want you don't want a job just for money.
Yeah,
Obviously,
so
you gotta
she
pay
got
bills.
money and a good job she liked. That's the more
Yeah.
yellow. It's more like success and like satisfaction. And then there's ones for live and ones for like all different kinds of things. But I just think it's really cool to put out there that there are voodoo dolls made that are for other like positive magical purposes other than just like bringing.
I did not know.
No, that's what
I
this
didn't
show is
know this.
about, bringing you
Wow.
stuff you didn't know. That's what's so
Wow,
cool.
that is, so, I like that spin on voodoo.
Yeah. So we don't do the other kind just because, I mean, I got other ways. So
Well,
But-
you know, though, when producers make movies and authors write books, you know, they like the dark, macabre kind of stuff. And so voodoo has gotten a bad rap. So you always see it from a negative point of view rather than where it can be positive. And I would imagine that practitioners can't be all bad and down
no, of
and
course
evil.
not. It's just culture, and it's a thing
Yeah.
that is majorly misunderstood by people
That's
who are
what
not a
I'm
part of
thinking.
it. Yeah.
But boy, I've never seen a voodoo doll.
It's like Catholics. You know, the Catholic Church is always used in horror movies, but it's really not that bad.
That's a great analogy. You're right, man. They are. Oh, is this one of those exorcism movies? Oh, I know who's going to show up.
Oh, the
right?
beautiful cathedrals and the music. When you
Yeah.
hear the, you know, and these days when you hear the monks chanting, you don't think about like God, you think about horror movies. But it's like,
Oh,
no, there's
yeah,
so much more to Catholicism. No, I'm not Catholic, but I don't practice
Horror
voodoo
movies
normally
change
either.
a lot
so.
of things. Like at one time, you could be a clown and people would laugh. Now,
They
if you're a clown, you
scream.
run away.
I always like jesters more anyway. They're more fun.
Jesters.
I don't like clowns.
I don't
but
think jesters have gotten a bad rap.
no,
yet,
they're
so,
cool.
hey,
They're
be
all
a jester.
Renaissance. I love jesters. Yeah, even though there are dark, scary jester costumes that we actually have. We'll do that one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, jesters are cool. But this voodoo doll he has got feathers on his head. His face is like, kind of feels like clay. And then
Yeah.
his body is stuffed with moss. And all of them are
Really?
like that. Yeah, he's
There's
got
moss in that?
don't open him, he'll get upset. But yes, there's moss in that. And then the covering to me almost feels lacy. It's very fancy.
It's
And
yeah,
they make them by hand. A lot of voodoo
it's
dolls are
very,
mass.
It's just high quality.
Yeah, a lot of voodoo dolls
look
are
at the back
mass
here. Look
produced.
at it. See that? Isn't that? It's just beautiful.
It is. I left his tag on
Sparkle.
him just to show. But
Yeah, yeah.
it says his
Simbi.
name. Yes, that's the kind of
Voodoo doll.
That's the snake energy that.
Made in New Orleans.
Go on it. Now he's made by hand. A lot of them are mass produced in other stores, but this store, Hex, it does them by hand. So it's really cool.
Wow. This is great.
So that's him. Just a brief rundown on that, and we just wanted to let you guys know that there are other sides to voodoo dolls, and they're
Yeah.
awesome. So check out Hex, or there's other dolls online at other places, so you don't have to go there if you don't want to. And just check out all the different ways voodoo dolls can be used for you, by you, or a positive gift of someone else. And I think that's frightfully brilliant, don't you, Grandma?
Yes.
And we are back. I'm David the Bruce. This is Morticia Gomez. Slappy and hanging by mere bones in the background is Charlie.
We've bored him to death.
Yeah, yeah. And this is Frightfully Brilliant. It's a show that is, well, quite frankly, frightfully brilliant.
And we're about to talk about something frightful. We're
Yes,
at
we
our
are.
reviews point, and we're going to talk about a really old movie that came
Yeah,
out
oof.
in 1919.
You know, this was, I think, maybe one of the very first horror films that is full length, and it still holds up today.
It's still scary. Like this movie, for Gomez and I to say something scary, like we live on horror, and it's like, oh, that's cool, whatever. I'd hang out with Freddy Krueger, totally, like awesome. But this movie is scary.
go
about
ahead.
a guy who is a hypnotist, which Gomez is actually a hypnotherapist, so he knows all about this. And it's kind of about dreams, and you don't really know what's dream and what's reality. And I thought you would like it because it starts in this creepy carnival, like Freaks, except it's got a hypno show where the guy's hypnotizing. And his name is Dr. Caligari. And he has a somnambulist. It's about dreams. We go back to my love of Freddy Krueger. It's about dreams. He's got this guy who looks really creepy and almost like a vampire. You're thinking about the poor guy Caesar, who's
No,
actually
you're
the
right.
victim.
I am thinking about
Yeah.
this different movie.
He's a victim,
Yes.
and he's asleep, and he looks all white and pale. He's really tall and
Yeah.
thin, and the doctor makes him wake up and prophesy to people. And he'll point at you and tell you you're going to die tonight, or whatever he tells you is going to happen, it will happen. And he's able to see these things apparently like in his sleep. So he's able to like get psychic stuff from his dreams. And he's constantly kept asleep.
1919.
This is fancy stuff in 1919. So, but none of this is really real. Then it breaks later to where the guy that was he was actually being told his fortune at the carnival, and then he's in the psych ward, and the doctor is actually his physician, and the guy that was asleep, the somnambulist that tells the future, was his, like, another mental patient or whatever. And it's not real, but you kind of don't end up knowing in the end if the guy is crazy or if Caligari, this really scary doctor, has really messed up his head. Like, you're like,
Spoiler,
which one was it?
except I'm late.
Well, I'm kind of skimming over it. You don't really get all the details. Gomez?
Yeah, it's another case of unreliable narrator in a sense. The unreliable narrator in this case being the protagonist, or both of them, Francis and Ellen, they're both protagonists. And unlike the famous Agatha Christie here, the unreliable narrator is not because the narrator is intentionally lying, but because he believes something to be true, which it may not be and probably isn't. And that's the very interesting similarity between perception itself of reality and also dreaming existence. The whole movie sort of reads like a dreaming sequence. You see things that go together but don't make sense as a consequence of one another. There is not necessarily a causal relationship between two consecutive scenes. And you begin to wonder, like Morticia said, what's real and what's not. And again, to my mind, this brings into mind the idea of dreaming. So, although the patient could be crazy, and he seems like he is, at the same time, the doctor himself, Dr. Caligari, experiences a similar kind of hallucination and is himself at some point admitted as a patient. And then even that scene is breaking down, and we are not sure if that was accurate or just the wishful thinking of the patient, the original narrator, Francis. So it's all very interesting. Even the source of the name Dr. Caligari itself is kind of mysterious. It was traced to supposedly an unpublished work called The Unpublished Letters of Stendhal. And the interesting thing about it was that Stendhal himself was a French novelist who changed his names a lot. And in a sense, that reminds me of how the movie itself changes from one scene to another, and you don't know which one is real, which one is more important, and how all of them are integrated together. And
It's like you're watching a nightmare for real.
yeah.
It's very cool. And Caligari is scary. Like whether he's a patient or a hypnotherapist or a doctor, he is scary. And we are not usually scared. So, I mean, we live with this guy. So, like,
He has those features that kind of remind me of the medieval representation of the devil figure. He kind of is limping, he's holding the cane, but not just like a person trying to get through. He also has mystical powers, mystical authority, and his manner of interacting with his environment ranges from being arrogant to dominating to utterly frightening. He wants to remove all obstacles on his path and uses his arcane powers to get there. So for me, he's kind of
amazing that this was 1919.
yeah. It
I
was
mean,
the expression.
you think about old silent movies. This is before sound, and usually you think of things like the Keystone Cops, things like that. Being chased. someone tied to the railroad tracks, you know, and the hero has, well, you know, that stuff. But nothing as complex and multi-layered as this.
This was a German film. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was remade in 1998 with words and stuff, but it was still very similar to the original and just as creepy.
Who was in it?
I don't remember names. I don't know. Like, nobody I knew, but Caligari was really creepy. The voice was like I expected it to be. And, like, I'm sorry, you guys have to watch the 1998 one, and then you can email David and tell him who was in it, because more people will know than I do.
Yeah.
More people will know that kind of stuff that were movie buffs. I'm like, I don't know who they are.
Oh, jeez.
But
I'm just so impressed. And your analysis was amazing.
Thank you.
He's a hypnotherapist too, so he knows this stuff.
Yes, that's how the mind processes information, really. So for me, it all relates to one of our previous shows about shared dreams and all of those things. They all work together somehow on the level of the mind, on the higher faculties.
Yeah. You're an amazing fellow, Maman.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I'm so lucky.
You are lucky. You're a lucky woman. You're a lucky woman. You got a good man.
And that
Was frightfully brilliant.
Yeah. And we're back. And now we're going to get into the news, man. News.
creepy news.
Yeah. Oh, it's always creepy news. Always. This is news with a sinister twist. What do we got?
Well, this time it's more, I guess, sort of news, but it's more talking about what we already know, but it's very real and it's creepy.
Ooh.
It's about, you know, do you think we're losing our humanity due to like social network and censorship that's really been rampant, especially if you're on social networks like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever? It's like if you don't think a certain way, you are bashed. You don't just get to have a different opinion. Like this thing where we all had freedom of speech, and it's okay to be different and think differently, and it makes us all beautiful and interesting people. That doesn't exist on those in a lot of places anymore. It just freaks me out. It's like, what happened to freedom of speech? You get torn down if you think something differently, or if you say something that other people don't agree with, even if you're not being mean. Like, this is my opinion. I don't like so-and-so, or I don't like doing that, or, you know, you are torn down. I don't like this kind of music. As long as you're not saying it's like horrible, it's just I don't like it, you can still be disliked and hounded and bullied, and like, it's like kind of scary to me. Like, what happened to freedom of speech and people getting to think for themselves? So I have to think this way or else I'm bullied is you know what I'm saying? Very frightening. I know people that flat out in the industry say they're afraid to say things, or afraid to, even watching YouTube videos, YouTubers will be like, okay, I'm going to state my opinion. I just don't want anybody to leave me hate comments or to say, and it's like, why can't you, as long as you're not bashing or going, you know, as long as you're not saying anybody who disagrees with me is stupid or something, you know, you have a right to not think the way I do.
Yeah.
It's really what makes us cool. We could learn from each other. We could discuss different aspects, right? Like, that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes us learn and grow as people. I don't want to get on a soapbox about it, but it's just gotten worse and worse, and it is very scary.
You should be able to state your view without being bullied, harassed,
Or
made
disliked,
fun of,
yeah.
name called. It's a terrible thing. There's an old proverb in Hebrew scriptures, and that is, iron sharpens iron. We need a dialogue. We need some kind of resistance. Otherwise, we can't grow.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got to be open to other points of view. We've got to be open to other opinions, and then to be able to discuss as friends.
Yes.
Maybe we don't agree, but as friends.
But you don't have to be angry because you don't agree. No.
You can be angry about a situation, but don't be angry at the person who's telling you about the situation.
Or if somebody is into something you're not, you don't have to say, you know, I dislike you because you like this kind of movies and I don't. I mean, as long as you're not going, well, anybody who doesn't like horror is stupid. Like, that's insulting and that's not cool.
Yeah.
But if I'm just like, I love horror, and you're like, no, I don't. Okay, well, that's cool. Like, we don't have to do movie night together. We can do other stuff, like whatever. just, it's gotten to where you can't state an opinion that's different. Like, I think this is, oh, I'm shivering, you guys, because it's freezing in here. So if I seem like my teeth are chattering, it's not with fear over this horrifying topic. It's very cold in here. And I'm like really trying not to shiver, and then I'm shivering more, so I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. So now that I can shiver openly. Yeah, that's scary. And also, if you look at, again, we're going back to social networks, how everyone has to look perfect.
Oh, selfies.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you have to look exactly right. You have to, your hair can't be out of place. You have to have your makeup on. You have to have your nails done, or else you are not cool, and they are going to criticize.
How many people are falling to their death because they want the Grand Canyon in back of them in a particular way, you know? It's ridiculous.
I've had, again, people on YouTube that I watch will say people are commenting about their eyebrows. Can you please not talk about my eyebrows? Can you please not? You know, it's like you have to be a perfect man-made doll, whether you're a boy or a girl, and have the same opinion of everybody else, or you are stoned.
Well, actually, I wasn't thinking about your eyebrows until you mentioned them.
Well,
Now
you
that
know
you've
what?
mentioned them. Go.
Hey, my eyebrows are hidden pretty much right now.
Perfect.
Thank you. They are perfect because you can't see them.
No, I think we should
But
all...
I've really seen people comment, not about mine because I am perfect, but like, you know, but I've seen comments where people, can you not talk about that, or, you know, what's that on your face, or, you know what? People are supposed to be different, and flaws can be beautiful, and imperfections can be normal, because when I'm perfect all the time, it's going to make you feel like you have to be perfect all the time. And guess
Boring,
what? It ends
right?
up with everybody being stressed out and unhappy. And I've read articles that people are depressed a lot more because of this crap that everybody's doing.
Oh, yeah. On social media, people put up their better self. They don't talk about their uglies.
No.
They talk about, you know,
But it makes you feel like you have to do
right,
that too.
so you see this and you go, wow, man, everybody else is having a great time,
Yeah,
man.
and I'm
They have
feeling
such
bad, but it's
wonderful
just a
life.
picture. It's like-
I'm nowhere near that. And so you try and put up your best, and then that plays into
doesn't
the
get
whole
enough
thing,
likes, and
and
then
someone
you're
else
like,
looks at what
"Ah."
you just did.
Yeah.
And so
Either it does
I
get
like
likes,
going
or
on
it's
social media and saying, you know what, I'm just crap.
then you'll get a lot of likes. I
Crap,
depressed
man.
people. What,
So you don't have to tell me that, because I already know I am, and I say it.
See,
So
we don't-
that's good, right?
we don't really have issues on Twitter, but Gomez looks at Twitter and he gets freaked out, which is pretty bad. Talk about Twitter.
Yeah, of all the social networks, it's the one that I have as an example of everything that's bad. It's like,
Twitter. Okay.
you know, you have to use text to be found in the search and everything.
Like hashtag this and that.
Right.
Yeah, so every tag I try for anything positive or nice or enlightened, it never exists. It's always about something bad and horrible, some disaster, some news piece, somehow people were bad, political stuff that
But
already...
he can't find positive hashtags, and it's like all negative stuff.
And it seems to be really
Oh,
popular.
hey, I never thought of that. So what hashtags tend to be
popular and
negative,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or the popular ones are negative,
yeah.
but uplifting positive hashtags are far and few between.
Yeah, I cannot find any.
What
I
an
can,
interesting
That's
observation.
why we can't advertise our stuff on Twitter, because we're trying to do horror, and that's uplifting, and we can't find it.
Oh man, you know, we got less than a minute. Can you believe this?
That's frightening
I love
too.
this topic.
Yeah, well, think about it,
And
you
we
guys.
couldn't even get into, you know, ways of countering it, or
Just
ways
stop
to
being
be.
perfect. Stop falling into
Yes,
it.
stop
Stop being
being
afraid to
perfect.
speak your mind. Scare people with it. Go for it.
Yes, be. I mean, absolutely. Be frightfully brilliant.